All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me again today. Let's do some more costs and analysis between no-till and conventional till. Talk a little bit more about the labor involved and all horsepower and all that again, except let's bring in strip till. Let's just really have some fun with this. I love these videos. I am doing these videos for me. I hope you guys enjoy them. I'm hot. I'm great to look at, so that's easy on your guys' eyes. But I absolutely love talking farming. I love talking equipment. I love talking dollars per acre and fertility and soil health. I am not an agronomist. I really don't get into looking at my nitrogen program as to when it converts from urea to urease and all that kind of stuff. That I don't need to know that kind of stuff for me to be successful. For me to be successful is dollars in and dollars out, plain and simple. And what's the best way I can do that? Strip till. The definition of strip till is we are leaving all of last year's field alone except that little 8 to 10 inch berm we create. So for the rest of the field, we have all the benefits of no-till. For that 8 to 10 inch berm we create, we get the benefits of conventional till. It gives us that warm, dry, fluffy spot to plant into. The rest of the field gets all the better water infiltration, better soil structure. So when we are doing field work for strip till, we're riding on that nice, stable soil. When we combine fertility with our strip program, which is the only way I would bother doing strip till, is to bring in the fertilizer with it, is what really raises the bar. Fertility with strip banded underneath our plant is why on my farm, strip till is whooping ass all over conventional till. It is not even in the same league anymore. So let's get to the labor of it. So we defined strip till. Let's get to the labor. We have John and Karen, my beautiful wife. She's even better looking than me? I don't know. I'd have to ask. But anyhow, John and Karen on no-till. We have 3 things to do. We can do them in any order. We only have so many days in the spring. On our no-till program, there's the point that we can start driving on the field without causing too much damage to the field, and the point that we're going to start planting. That might be a couple days, it might be a couple weeks. So I, in a no-till situation, would take advantage of that. I would get my spraying and maybe some of my fertility done before I start planting. Let's take advantage of that couple weeks. Either way, John and Karen, 2 people, got 3 things to do. You move across that very efficiently. Strip till, same thing. The spraying, planting, because of herbicide programs, like our herbicide program for soybeans, means if we plant today, we have to be behind the planter with the sprayer. So there's a great chance we are going to be spraying before planting in every scenario for our soybean ground because of our new herbicide program. But either way, again, strip till, we have 3 programs. John and Karen, 2 people, going to move across them acres very efficiently, very easy. 2 out of 3 are getting done at any time or any moment of time. And yeah, it's just that easy. Conventional till, let's start with last fall. Most guys in the fall want to get primary tillage done. So when John is in the grain buggy with, well, if we got the big tractor to do our primary tillage, that means John's going to have to use that front wheel tractor to pull the grain cart. Karen's in the combine. We need to hire somebody to do primary tillage. We didn't have to hire anybody over here. We now had to hire that guy. And over here, come fall time, that big front wheel's in the shed. He's safe. Everything's done. We're not putting any more wear and tear on him. Over here, we've already planned that them few hours on the big tractor are already taken into account. So come springtime, let's assume all primary tillage was done. Come springtime, Karen's going to do secondary tillage. John's going to chase her with fertilizer. She's going to start chasing me with another finish pass, and then I'm going to get into the planter and start planting, and then I'm going to come back and spray, or I'm going to spray and then plant, whatever, you know. We're finally going to get there, but that is a whole lot of hours for John and Karen to try and get across that 1,000 acres on a timely manner. The horsepower starts to come into it. Horsepower. On 1,000 acres of no-till in this area, I could take I could go buy easily two 4450 tractors and do 1,000 acres in this area like nobody's business. I could do it with two 4430s if I really wanted to. But let's say we had two 4450s. You could do 1,000 acres extremely well in our area with two 4450 front wheels, and they would last you a long time. Everybody asks why on earth I would have a big horsepower for my no-till. That is because I would have a big planter for my no-till. That 600 horse tractor is going to pull my 24-row planter, and then he's going to run my grain cart in the fall. He's only going to get a couple hundred hours a year, and his couple hundred hours a year are going to be very baby hours. Ain't going to be no wear and tear on him. Strip till, that 600 horsepower tractor, we're going to pull a 16 to 24 row strip till machine. Budget wise, you're probably going to be a 16 row strip till. Will be a similar cost as your primary and secondary tillage equipment. That 16 row strip till, you are moving across the field very well. 600 horse pulling a strip till, you are throttled up, idled back. You are also doing 40 feet at a tremendously less fuel per hour, but you are doing versus this 20 feet. But you're going more miles an hour with 40 feet. Even if you're going the same, 6 miles an hour for them two passes, you're doing twice the acres per hour on the tractor hour with the strip till versus primary tillage. But then we also eliminate two finished passes, and we eliminate a guy with a tractor and a spreader over here, or you're having the co-op do this for $10 an acre or $8 an acre, whatever your co-op charges to spread fertilizer. That way Karen can be doing she smooths the soil up, the co-op comes and spreads, she's chasing them, I'm chasing her, and then I'm chasing with the planter. Whatever, you're adding costs over here, and you're adding horsepower requirements. So twice the acres per hour as our primary, and we eliminate these three passes over here. That is a tremendously huge advantage of strip till over conventional till to grow a better crop. So we got our horsepower over here. Our 600 horse is pulling a 20 foot, and then the Springy's pulling a 50 foot. Secondary tractor, we'd have a big front wheel to do all our row crop on all three things. All three cropping systems, once the crop is planted up and running, all three farms are the same. At that point, we're just maintaining that crop. We're coming back with our fertilizer. We're side dressing. I personally would have the same side dress system, irregardless of the program. I would be using the same tractor for all that stuff, just a nice front wheel drive tractor to be doing all that. Same with spraying. I'd have the same sprayer for all three farms. But so the big thing between these three farms is just to get that crop in. That's the difference. So we've got our horsepower, we've got our labor and our horsepower. We can clearly see that the strip till, no-till by far is the least. Strip till is extremely close to no-till, and conventional till just cannot cut it. It just can't. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to convert anybody. If no-till don't work for you, then don't do it. If you think strip till can't work for you, then don't do it. There is not an acre in this world that strip till can't go where conventional till can. Plain and simple, but I'm not here to argue. You keep on primary and conventional tilling if that's what your mind is made up to be. Not here. I do not care. I care about my dollars, not your dollars. I care about your dollars some. I want to be helpful, but at the end of the day, I'll pay my bills, you pay yours. You do what works on your farm. We're just pointing things out. If you don't like my math, then you find a farm business manager and you have him run your math. Get that little disclaimer out of the way. Oh, so we replaced all this with that. Now we're back to fertilizer efficiency. I love fertilizer efficiency. Let's talk banding. So we already talked banding a little bit, that we were banding instead of broadcasting. What's going on is, in banding, we have the University of Minnesota and other universities have done over 30 years of research to show that to grow my same crop of corn or soybeans, I can get by with almost 50% or down to 50% less P and K in a band under the plant as I can versus broadcasting. Today, I think P and K on this morning's prices, let's just say it's $15 per acre per item. So 15 bucks an acre for P, 15 for K. So at $923.30, here would be $30 an acre. Here is $60 an acre. That's $30 an acre savings. What if you're 15 bucks here and you're 30 bucks there? That's $15 an acre savings. No matter how you cut it, it is savings. But how much better is that plant going to do? When all our fertility in a primary tillage program, we spread our fertilizer and then we work it in. That fertilizer is in that top 2 to 3 inches. In fact, it's probably closer to the 2-inch mark than the 3-inch mark. So it's in that top 2 inches. How much fertilizer are we getting out of this year's applied P and K when it's in the top 2 inches, when it gets hot and dry and there's no bug life there? We are getting 0. It's that simple. If there is no bug life there because it's too hot and too dry for bug life, you are getting no transfer of nutrients to your plant. Technically, could you measure some? Probably, but when we're talking broad terms here, yeah, you're not getting nothing. You are relying on the P and K that was spread several years ago that is down here where it's cool, where it's wet, where there's a tremendous amount of soil life. Well, that's where we banded all our fertilizer for this crop. Roots hit that fertility, boom, we got a good crop growing. How much nitrogen loss do you get? When our corn root only covers this 10 inches, but we've got 30 inches to the next plant, you know, let's add a third plant out here. So we got our 30 inches. So on each side of this plant, you have 30 inches. Our fertilizer is spread out. How much of that nitrogen that's over here, that's between these, in the center between these two plants, is going to leach down, and we aren't going to take advantage of any of it? To me, that's money going out the window. Now, in some of the soils, like our soil, we got this layer of clay. It might hit that clay, and the nitrogen might start running horizontal, so we can try to recover some of it. But at some point, some of that nitrogen is lost. How much nitrogen is lost when it's right under the plant roots are growing directly into? If it's soybeans, we always talk about the K needs of soybeans. If we have our P and K down here and our soybean plant, that little taproot gets into that food source, how much more efficient is that? That is tremendously more efficient. And then what about our broadcaster versus banding? What about swath control? We come through here, the co-op, if we hire the co-op to do it, or we go get a broadcast, a spinner cart ourselves, we're doing 60 to 90 foot pattern. On our strip till, we can bring in swath control, so that can be as narrow as you want, however many sections you want. I find it extremely entertaining that everybody's planter has to have row clutches, row by row, for seed, because we're spending $70 to $100 an acre on seed. And everybody's sprayer has to have swath control because we're spending $25 to $30 an acre per year on chemical. But when it comes to fertility, we're spending up to $200 an acre per year in some parts, or for us, $140 an acre per year on fertility, and nobody says a thing about swath control. Like, well, that's just crazy. Why would you swath control your absolutely most expensive and most important product you're putting down? That's crazy. I find that rather entertaining. I love the fact that nobody is thinking about swath controlling fertility. We'll just go out 90-foot spray pattern and just what you overlap. And oh, well, you can overlap P and K because it's just a little extra. It'll be there in the soil, and that's fine. That's true. It's there. It's not going anywhere. But what about the cost? In these tight margin times, what about the cost savings? Again, we're reducing a 50% of our P and K program cost by banding. Now let's save another 5 to 10% on top of that with a swath control versus that broadcast. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care that the P and K is there. I don't have money this year to be blowing on extra P and K. What about the nitrogen overlap? We don't need, why waste the pounds of nitrogen? Just because you overlap with nitrogen doesn't mean that's a better spot. If you have the right year, you know, you get enough heat and moisture, that overlap might create a little better yield. But if it's like 99 out of the last 100 years for us, that overlap of nitrogen doesn't create any more crop unless you're running a very low nitrogen rate, and that overlap actually helped push the envelope that you weren't seeing anyhow. But if you're running a good nitrogen program, that overlap is just nitrogen wasted. That's a pollutant at that point. If you're on a full tillage program, that nitrogen is just going to be leaching into the creeks. Why waste the money? To me, that makes zero sense. We need to be more efficient, and that's where we get into my brand. I'm going to be rich and famous someday from my brand. Big speaker someday. But that's what I'm saying is we can find a better way to farm. A better way to farm is by being a little more efficient, a little more smart with our fertility dollars. Why? On AMS, our sulfur. Sulfur is extremely mobile. It moves down through the soil extremely fast with water, with rain. When I used to do all of this gobbledygook mess over here, we used to broadcast our AMS. We'd do 60 pounds ahead of the planter, and a lot of times, or 50% of the time, that would be enough for the year. The other 50% of the time, by the time the corn got, to V4, or just under knee high, or just after knee high or waist high, you could start to see striping in the plant from sulfur deficiency. Why? Because it was broadcast, it ran down, our roots only got a handful of the granules, most of everything we spread was gone. We were throwing money. So then we would come back around that waist high area with another 60 pounds. Ever since I started banding my fertilizer underneath the plant, I only use 50 pounds of AMS. Sometimes I use more to replace a little bit of urea because I'm starting to learn some response to sulfur. So there's a change there. But irregardless, at 50 pounds, a half rate of what I used to use, actually a slightly less than half rate of what I used to use, I have not seen a sulfur deficiency yet in my soil versus in my soil. I think that speaks extremely huge. Nitrogen, we are using 100 pounds per acre less of urea than we used to grow the same crop. That is huge. That is, what are we at? $17 per 100 on urea at today's price. That is massive. That's, on $3 corn, you got 6 bushels right there to grow the same 130 bushel corn or 150 bushel corn, whatever I'm growing. I've got the same 130 bushel corn, but 6 more bushels are mine because of less nitrogen. On the sulfur at 50 pounds, you got another $6. There's another 2 bushels that are mine, not the co-ops. P and K, you got 20 some bucks an acre savings. Again, there's another 6 bushels that are mine and not the co-ops because of efficiency. The other part of this fertilizer efficiency is bringing us into our yields and our results. I will have to print out the yield maps one day. The no-till and conventional till follow the same yield pattern. Where it is a tough go in no-till, it is a tough go in conventional till. I found that rather funny. It shocked me. I did not expect that. Where we have been strip tilling compared to, so in 2013 we did conventional till, 2015 we did no-till, and 2017 we did strip till on that field. Let's just create that field right now because we have this, my new fancy board, and I can do this because on my way to become a professional speaker, I better get used to turning my back to the crowd and drawing, because that's what all the experts do, is we've got our field. He is field number 4, and he kind of comes up, and he comes around the woods a little bit like that. That's a little exaggerated, but he works. I don't like that. Let's try it again. Field number 4. Be patient. Field number 4. He comes along the ditch a little bit, and then he comes up to the woods. He got a slight jog. There we go. And he comes back down. We have a draw up here, and on the no-till and the conventional till, we could see kind of a pocket that kind of came up, kind of something like that. That's like a thumbs up. And then there was another pocket over here. We are going up a hill over here. This is a sand pocket where water comes out of the hill, and these two show up extremely similar in no-till and conventional till. Now in strip till, because of our soil structure is like if you took sugar, large granule. That's what our soil structure is. The rest of this field's a little bit heavier except these two spots. They're sand knobs. The one water comes out of the hill on a wet year and stunts the growth. This one, more times than not, just dries up. This year did very well because of plenty of moisture, and you can see that every year. Any year you have moisture, that does okay. It is still, in no-till and conventional till, it was still a half production piece. What we found in strip till last year in soybeans, this year in corn, is now in strip till. This one is pretty much gone. This one is more of just kind of a small sliver because of the strip till. And what I think is happening is in our soil, like I say, in my soil, if you took sugar, that would be more what my soil granules are. Very large, very coarse soil. So when we were doing conventional till or no-till and we were broadcasting fertilizer, it'd get in them top couple inches. No roots are growing there, no soil life. Well, roots kind of grow there, but no soil life is there to help transfer the nutrients. It gets hot and dry, and the water just goes right through that sand. There is no clay underneath it. It is bottomless sand. So it just goes right on through. With strip till, we're locking in that fertilizer in that band down there. So even though the water goes down, the top couple inches are getting dry, the fertilizer is there and it's helping the plant. This year was not the greatest year in history, and that spot still averaged 150 through that dead spot, where in 2013, our full tillage, the whole field only averaged 130, and that dead spot was a 60 bushel spot. In no-till, it was a 100 bushel spot, and in strip till, it is a 150 bushel spot. You can credit a lot of that from year to year because of the different weather, but when 2017 was not too far from one of our worst years in recent history, for that spot to be that high, almost 20 to 30% above average, I think that says a lot. So that pretty much covers it, guys. I think we've done a good job to bring in strip till. How's it compare? Strip till equipment costs, I can't remember because it was 20 minutes ago when I started this, is strip till equipment is a little expensive right now because there is not a big used market out there. If I could afford it, that same 600 horsepower would pull a 24 roll versus that 20, which would make its cost even more efficient. The strip till equipment itself will run similar costs as a primary tillage machine for cost per acre of wear and tear and maintenance. I think in another 5-10 years, when strip till is running rampant across the country, we will start to see a tremendous growth in used strip till equipment. So then the small acre guys can start to get into strip till a lot more efficiently. There are companies like Soil Warrior out of southern Minnesota that have a lease to own type program to help you get into strip till or to at least try it for 1 or 2 years. There are a lot of companies that sell just the row unit themselves, so you can custom make your own toolbar and your own fertility program. You can get by on strip rather inexpensively for 1,000 acres if you really wanted to. You took this tillage dollar equipment and you could have a very nice strip till program for the same dollar per dollar on these equipments, and you're still utilizing banding fertility and you're still utilizing less trips across the field. That 600 horsepower tractor here is going to last many, many years. So yeah, I think that covers it good, guys. Please like the video. Please share the videos. Please, let's get more people watching so I can become big and famous and rich sooner, so I can get to that 600 horse tractor. That is my goal. Whether it's probably going to take 20 years to get me that nice 2009 tractor. But anyhow, hope you enjoyed it. I hope there's something. Please, please, please comment. Let me know what you thought. Thank you very much.